CBS News political director and Face the Nation moderator John Dickerson is with us. John, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie.
Do we expect that both the question about Mr. Khan and the question about Putin to have damaging, sustainable effect any more than anything else?
Well, I think you're right to be skeptical about the long term, but I think that if particularly the back and forth with Mr. Khan has the potential to be a problem if the following happens, which is that it attaches to an underlying issue about Donald Trump. And there are these issues of whether he has the temperament for the job. Those issues are raised by the Clinton campaign. But with a certain set of voters, they do worry about him. And the question here is he able to stop his impulses? In this case, he's a counterpuncher. But is he able to stop the counterpunching when there's a larger issue at stake? And in this case, it's the issue that these are the parents of a soldier who died in the service of his country.
Somebody once said, when you're in a hole, stop digging.
That's right. And yet, on the other hand, Donald Trump and the people who love him would look at this and say they're picking on him as they always did, and he's a fighter, and this is what happens, and this is a small deal.
Well, he has said, though, John, when somebody attacks me, I attack back. And a lot of people would say, what's wrong with that?
Exactly. Not only what's wrong with that, but that's what we need. The challenge here is there are a certain set of voters for whom fighting back is not enough. And so they're looking at him and saying, is that fighting back quality all that he's got, or does he have some restraint that's also required for the job? And that's what this might highlight if it has any legs.
People say this might be like a Joseph Welch moment, I have you know decency, sir moment. We've heard that before. My question is whether over time, the accumulation of these events as available voters, the undecided voters, start to pay more attention, whether it may take a toll on him.
I think that's the thing to look for, is the accumulation plus the Republicans calling him out. So Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell are still 100% Donald Trump supporters in terms of their party loyalty. But they are, they both made comments about this, a little oblique in their comments. But so you add the accumulation plus the sort of people from inside the Republican Party criticizing him, and that might cause just what you're talking about.
We have a bump for Hillary Clinton coming out of the Democratic convention. Will that even out over 2 weeks from now?
I think that let's see where we are in a week. But what's interesting, as a smart political analyst mentioned on Face the Nation yesterday, is to look at the the white college voter, white college educated voter. She has a big bump in our poll in that group. Republicans have always won that since 1952 when polling started. That's a part of the Republican coalition. Hillary Clinton is now up by, I think, 5 or 6 points in our poll with that group. White college educated voters. That's important because she's basically reaching into the Republican group, and that's a part of the coalition.
Is she different from soccer moms?
Is that group? Yeah, well, that is essentially the soccer mom group, but Republicans have won that. And so for her to be grabbing that is, and that's the group that we're talking about here that's nervous. Republicans who traditionally would vote for a Republican candidate who are nervous about the things we were just discussing with Donald Trump.
Must have been a smart analyst who brought that up.
It was, I know.
That's what that would have been.
Yes, no, exactly.
Just one quick question. She's in Pennsylvania. She's in the Rust Belt. She's trying to dive into what is expected to be the possibility of support for him.
You hear Kane talk about we care about workers. That's a group that Donald Trump's going to win, blue-collar voters. They just need to not have Donald Trump win by so much.
Thanks, John.